And here we go, Terran versus Terran, the second map. It is Shakura's Plateau, and at the bottom left we have MVP, who was able to take the first game against his opponent in the red. Starting at the bottom right, it is OGS Supernova. So both players are starting at the bottom of Shakura's Plateau. We have MVP ahead 1-0. Supernova doing a good job on the last map, but it was not enough to defeat MVP. Really close mirror match. In the end, MVP came out ahead, and he might be able to take that semifinal with 2-0 if he's going to defeat Supernova right now. The final is tomorrow, and Slayer's GanZi is waiting for his opponent.
This is actually a really cool map for TVT at these positions because there's a lot of drop play that goes into this, and you can even do the cool drop play where you drop siege tanks next to the cliff and try to siege up, and you can even hit the main gas, for example, with siege tanks there, and you kind of ferry marines from the low ground to the high ground. Sometimes you hide your first barracks at your natural as well, as we see MVP doing here.
Yeah, occasionally we even see Banshee play on positions like that, and Supernova is starting with a gas first build. So already a small variation in the playstyle of those two players. MVP is getting gas as well, but obviously later than his opponent.
MVP, he just wants to play a mirror game. He cancels his barracks, starts a gas immediately.
That would be funny as well. Just scouting oh my god, damn, I did something wrong. I have to make up for that now.
No. He was clearly using his game genie last game. He was using map hacks. He copied him.
That would be high-level trolling right there. Okay, but anyway, Supernova now, of course, already mining, and he's about to have 100 gas, so he can build that factory. We'll see that in a few seconds. The barracks is about to be finished, and at the same time, MVP sends over an SCV in order to scout his opponent, but there should be... is there going to be another supply depot in order to block the SCV, or the Marine will he pop out in time? Probably not.
No, it doesn't look like he's going to block this, which is actually pretty huge. Oh, just barely sends another SCV and does block him out, but
you may not pass.
He knows what's going on because there's no Marine out, and if he went gas first, or if he didn't go gas first, there would have been a Marine out. So if he's smart, which MVP is, he'll know, okay, you went gas first, you know what's going on here.
Yep, the factory being built for MVP as well, getting the second gas, by the way. Supernova didn't do that, and yeah, that Marine chasing off the SCV. And right now, we'll have a look what Supernova is going to do as soon as the factory finished. Not getting the second gas, so he's going for a starport right now, but without the second gas, he won't be able to get the cloak.
Yeah.
He will just rely on the Banshee. And here we see the tech lab at the factory already, so as soon as the starport finishes, there will be a quick swap. One Banshee out, trying to harass MVP just a tiny little bit, but not committing all too much, not getting that cloak ability, which is kind of a smart move, actually.
I would agree. He's just going to do a Banshee expand. It's really good positions for that, so that really works out for him. And MVP, on the other hand, though, is going to have his starport up in time. Looks like he's going to be doing a Banshee expand as well. Although if he makes a Banshee, because Supernova's Banshee will be there first, he'll be able to kill a lot of SCVs and the Viking won't be out. So could be a little bit of a weird situation for MVP.
Yeah. We haven't seen a Raven in the... well, sometimes we've seen a Raven in the early stage of the game. He certainly could afford it, but I seriously doubt that he's doing that. He's going for the Viking that Wolf already mentioned in order to be able to repel the Banshee harass of his opponent.
Yeah, he's making a Hellion too. He's not actually switching those add-ons, so that's not what I expected at all, to be honest.
And here we go, Hellion for Supernova at the same time, trying to block that expansion spot of his opponent, walking up the ramp, trying to deal some damage. That's the Hellion as well. Needs to control his units a little bit better.
Yeah, that was
a lot of them.
Not the best engagement. His idea there was to eliminate the Marines so his Banshee could do more damage, but the problem is the Viking is already out. In fact, the Viking is rallied towards the Banshee. It's just barely going to miss her. Oh, I take it back. That Banshee is going to do nothing.
Yep, that's really, really a poor Banshee.
He's trying to save it with the Marines. Will he be able to do it? Actually, yes.
Whoa.
One more shot would have done it, but yeah.
yeah.
Supernova's Marines are loyal. Banshee. The Banshee has to decide between them who she's going to go on a date with afterwards. And this Viking returns home to join his friend, and in fact, MVP is making a fairly early Raven here as he starts a third command center, or his first command center, excuse me.
Yeah, we have that base for his opponent as well, so both of them trying to expand now, and there we are back with our mirror match. Yeah, but we have Stim already going on for Supernova, for example. He's adding additional barracks, trying to make good on his bio units. At the same time, obviously, MVP getting out that Raven that we've mentioned and the upgrade for his siege tank. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting to see. I actually like that MVP was building that Viking straight away, and Supernova probably a little bit bummed out. His Banshee didn't do anything at all, but still, he loves it, and therefore he's repairing it right now.
Supernova and those 3 Marines are not fighting over the Banshee. Supernova's like, well, I created you, I own you, but the Marines said, well, you know, she wouldn't exist if we didn't come over, but Supernova's telling the Marines, well, I told you to do it.
And there's the SCV as well, I repaired it.
Yeah, the SCV repaired it, who really knows? I don't know, man. The Viking's like, well, I decided not to kill you, I could have given my life to kill you, but she's like, but then if you killed me, then you would have also died, so it doesn't even make sense because neither of us would be alive.
Okay, this is getting philosophical. If we take that any further, you wouldn't need a degree.
I did study some philosophy, but I don't know about the philosophy of StarCraft.
I'm just picturing a SCV dating a Banshee. It's just all weird.
It's a little bit weird, yeah.
Okay. Well, from weird to seeing a bunch of Hellions. Oh, nearly died to Marines. Here we go. But MVP controlling his units. And one of the Marines is burned alive. Sucks
Cloak
to be him.
On the way for MVP, interestingly enough. Going to be going for that later Banshee Cloak.
Yeah, we have him with a slight disadvantage in supply, by the way. 56 to 70. And, yep, the Vikings had a quick look in the main base of
those
Supernova.
Marines, man. They want to protect the Banshee, chasing those Vikings out immediately there.
You know, they're getting kind of aggressive, aren't they?
Yeah,
and that
bit.
SCV is doing a lot of hard work repairing the Viking now as well.
I like what MVP is doing here. He knows he had a better Viking count. Just wants to bully his opponent's star report, maybe catch a Viking popping out. Always a good idea to do that. His Banshee almost has Cloak. He's not sending it in just yet. Sending it right now as Cloak finishes.
And at the same time, we have Blue Flame upgrade being researched. Here's the Banshee, here's the Cloak at the same time. And he needs a scan. There is one Banshee already. Doesn't have enough energy, but he will fairly soon. And here we go, killing a lot of SCVs, actually.
Yeah, killing a ton. And meanwhile, Supernova actually sending all of his units across the map. He does not have any scans. He doesn't have a turret. He has no units back at home. He's actually just rallying his units. Finally gets a scan, and it looks like that Banshee will be chased out. Will escape, though, out of scan range. But Supernova's force here, I don't think it's going to be enough. There's a bunker. There's a Raven. There are Hellions here that are soon to be Blue Flame. Scans and says, no way, Jose, I can't go in there. I'm going to try to go around the other side. But there are Vikings waiting here to catch the medevac.
And will he be able to focus that one down? Yep. Oh, this is horrible now for Supernova. He lost a ton of SCVs to that Banshee, about 12 of them. And now his opponent is in a really good position to take out the tanks as well. Here comes the Banshee. Oh, needs to be careful. Still should have cloaked. Did it have enough energy? I don't think so.
I love that he actually attacked his units on the high ground because he knew MVP, or rather Supernova, does not have scans because he's been scanning to deal with my Cloak Banshees on the other side. So if I can take out that medevac, he won't be able to hit me on the high ground. Really nice decision making by MVP there.
Lucas killed up to 15 now for MVP. He's doing quite a good job, and he's ahead in supply. He's on 101 against 86 and getting additional Banshees, getting tanks, getting a lot of Hellions as well. The Blue Flame Hellion upgrade is done by now. Here we go. Oh, Supernova being able to take out quite a lot of them.
Yeah, you saw those Hellions on the Zone Under Watchtower, stemmed his Marines, but even so, you know, he forced the stem with those Hellions. He did lose one, but it's okay.
Both players are getting a third command center, and I like the positioning of MVP. He's trying to be a little bit sneaky about it.
Yeah, Supernova is checking, in fact, right now with the Marine, but he won't see it because he's scooped it until this Banshee comes over here.
Did he miss it? No, he didn't. There it is, and the SCV will be taken out. Yep, there's the Banshee. In the middle of the map, there's still some harassment going on with the Blue Flame Hellions trying to grill the occasional Marine.
And I just gotta say, I think it's really cool what's going on in this game. Both players being so mobile on the map. Supernova, despite being behind, he knows it. He's making sure he can slow down that command center. He's got his command center totally fine. He's got control of the map. He has both watchtowers. He's got siege tanks sieged up. it's almost impossible for MVP to walk through there with those line of sight blockers. He knows his opponent has vision. It's going to be tough for him to attack right now.
Yeah, and Supernova now building missile turrets in the middle of the map as well, because he knows that there are Banshees out there that can attack his tanks, and therefore wants to throw something against that mix. That's the Raven with Banshee and a lot of Vikings.
Yeah,
this is going to be interesting with the auto turrets.
Yeah, this is a Sky Terran style, man. He's going to be able to point defense drone that missile turret as he goes for the SCVs here. And he'll be able to take out that turret. He may even just land his Vikings, which I think is a better choice. Even making auto turrets here, 4 auto turrets. And Supernova being spread a little bit too thin is not going to have much of an answer for this.
And there are the add-ons being killed. First of all, the reactor. Here we go once again, taking out all of those Medivacs as well as the Vikings. Oh my god, MVP doing a really good job at that. He's on 140 supply against 97. The auto turrets are taken down, but still MVP dealing a lot of damage to his opponent.
Yeah, that was a great trade for him there. And I love the use of the auto turrets. He knew that Supernova had most of the units out in the middle. He was totally focused there. And MVP said, I'm just going to go in the back and do a really big attack here.
Actually, Supernova has a lot of gas trunk up right now. He's on 1,000 minerals, has 700 gas as well. He really needs to put all that money into upgrades and additional units.
Yeah, and losing those add-ons in his main base did not help his production. He lost his reactor on his starport, so he had to switch now with the barracks. Now he's lost a lot of production there. He does have 3 factories cranking out siege tanks right now. It's something that MVP does not have.
MVP is on 153 supply, so he actually is in a commanding lead in regards to his army size. He's getting a 4th base right now, as is Supernova. Both of them are trying to get access to a 4th line of minerals. And here comes an armory and a lot of missile turrets for the yellow Terran player. MVP now just trying to play safe as well. Still all those siege tanks in the middle of the map. I like the sensor tower though for MVP, and Supernova is getting one himself now.
Yeah, sensor tower is really important to have, because it's always good to know when your opponent is moving out, when he's on siege. You know, if Supernova gets a sensor tower in the middle of the map, he'll know if there's a good time for him to move forward and catch MVP on siege. MVP, man, he has got the sickest, strong, tough mech army right now. He's 40 supply up. He's got Blue Flame. One thing he does not have, though, is any upgrades for his tanks. Neither player actually having any tank upgrades right now.
Now the first armory is finished. We have another sensor tower coming up for MVP, and he's looking pretty darn good. But what is Supernova being able to do? MVP now trying to get access to the back, and therefore not only to that base, but also he will be able to siege up at the bottom of that cliff and maybe trying to put a little bit of pressure to the main base of his opponent.
Oh, a faster siege up by MVP, but he just has so many less tanks that it looks like... Oh man, Supernova just got his tanks crushed there.
That was painful to watch.
Yeah, and now he's 50 supply ahead. He's going to destroy these rocks so he can move it down there if he wants to. He doesn't really want to right now. He's just going to go ahead and siege up, like I was mentioning from the very beginning of this cast. This is a very common thing to see on this map.
Especially against Zerg.
Against Zerg especially, but sometimes TVT you see this as well. That sensor tower only lets him know that these units are here. It does not help.
Ah, that hurts. That really hurts. Look at that. Those tanks are in a beautiful position, and the Banshee's taking out the tanks of his opponent. Now the Vikings are taking down every single air unit Supernova has.
Every Viking that pops out for Supernova killed immediately. The Banshees can do whatever they want while the Vikings are bullied away. In the middle of the map, though, Supernova is pushing out. He's going to try to make something happen, but MVP has plenty enough to hold this.
Yeah, that push is basically born out of desperation. That's the only thing that he can do. He's losing way too much in his main base right now. MVP is maxed out. There are the Blue Flame Hellions who's killing every single SCV, everything there is. And now MVP just in a beautiful position, taking out those command centers as well. And there's not much that Supernova can do but to type GG and leave the game.
MVP is totally outclassing him here in this game, and some of it came down to the, if you go gas first, you commit to that Banshee and it doesn't do a lot of damage, of course you're going to end up a little bit behind. And that's just what happened.
Yeah, it didn't deal any damage at all. We've mentioned that already. He went for the Viking immediately, and the Banshee, well, looked good, but didn't do all too much. So, Yeah, it was a really sexy Banshee. I don't know what to say.
Well, I actually, you know, while you were casting something else, you were talking about one of these Banshees. I watched that Banshee. She did die to that Viking squad. You know, she gave her life without getting a single kill. Not a single kill on that Banshee. She was, you know, she was trained as a killer, but actually she just couldn't do it when it came down to it.
I guess she just sucked at her job.
Well, I mean, she couldn't do it, but it wasn't actually because she didn't want to kill anyone. It was because MVP's control was too good, and he just shut her down every time. No kills on the Banshee. She killed half of an SCV with her dying breath, and the Vikings killed her, man. That's what happened. Just for those of you guys out there who were wondering.
That's pathetic.
Half an SCV, man. That's all she did.
That's one pathetic Banshee.
I mean, if you think about all the resources actually Supernova used, he repaired her multiple times, and she never was able to do anything. He even went gas first for her. And in the end, she died. It was all for nothing, man.
She let him down.
She really did.
Yeah, so Supernova can definitely blame it on the Banshee. Yeah, and we will have a Terran versus Terran tomorrow, a final, a best of 5 between MVP and Slayer's GanZi.
Yeah, it should be a good match to watch. These guys have played against each other before. GanZi was one of the first players to really be able to beat MVP at a time where MVP looked unbeatable. He beat him in the Super Tournament. And, you know, the only two people to ever do that to MVP back then was Bomber and GanZi. Bomber beating MVP a few times in an extended series. It's pretty awesome to see these guys actually fight each other again. I'm excited. GanZi has been kind of an up-and-comer for a long time, and, you know, now's his time to show his stuff again.
Yeah, definitely, but it won't be an easy task to accomplish. As we've seen today, MVP is on top of his game. Supernova didn't stand a chance against him. Couldn't make up for that loss at WCG Korea and lost, yeah, with 2-0.
Yeah, tried to get revenge. MVP said no. So I think that's going to be about it for us, guys. Make sure you follow GOMTV on Twitter at GOMTV. You can add Caldor on Twitter as well, and you can follow me at ProxyWolf. Please follow all of us. Do you have any additional thoughts, Caldor?
No, really, I'm excited about the TVT tomorrow. That's going to be a good one. And besides that, yep, I'm quite content with waiting for the final and to see if GanZi is actually able to take out MVP.
And so see you guys there tomorrow, same time. Have a great night.